Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel for a brand new video on F1 2020, and we're back with F1 2020 Mant team Karim here with the Lotus team, and it's time for episode number 8, and it's time also as well for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix in Baku, a track that I really dislike, if I'm being honest. Like, I've never really got into grips with this car, with this track. I feel like it's one of the hardest tracks in the calendar. I even dislike it more than Monte Carlo. I feel like Monte Carlo is one of those tracks that I can get used to with some practice, but this one is just never goes well. Like, I feel like last year on F1 2019, I feel like we got dominated by teammate Lando Norris at the time. So yeah, it's one of those events that don't really go well traditionally, but as you can see, we did hear the activities.
We were expecting some new developments to come through, but some of them have failed the quality control. Make sure you indicate what you'd like redeveloped via the R&D screen.
So yeah, the turbo durability has failed, and that's a bit of a mess, because I've actually upgraded the quality control and durability unit, because one thing that I needed was the quality control to be okay in the durability, because I'm not going to be upgrading it very often. But I feel like it's now got to come. No, it's not going to arrive before Azerbaijan, is it? No, it's not. It's just general durability. So that's a bit of a mess that we're not going to be having this upgrade coming at this Grand Prix, but it's going to be coming probably on the next one in Canada. Hoping that the SASIS upgrade will also arrive at Canada. So there's so many upgrades that are going to be coming and improving the car, but this is just practice sessions around Baku, and just doing the casual track optimization test. Already, as you can see, didn't really start off well on our first corner, only got a green. But yeah, I just don't really like this track somehow. It's just one of those tracks that I can never get into grips with. Like, even in Vietnam, at first I hated the circuit, like for a day or so, until I started to learn the track a little bit more. I hated it, but as I've done a race there, I've actually liked the track. It's actually quite a decent track at the end of the day, and it provides for some very good racing. I feel like it's one of the best episodes there in Vietnam. We've had a very exciting race, and we also got one of our best results. I think it was our best result for the time being, our 5th position. And I feel like it's still up to date, our best result so far. So yeah, I've had fun in Vietnam, whereas here in Baku, I've never had like a phenomenal race. I was like, okay, I really enjoyed it. I think back in F1 2016 I crashed, 2017 I didn't run there, 2018 I had one of my worst races, 2019 I lost to my teammate here. So it's just one of those tracks, we bump a little bit there to the wall, just nudge it a little bit. But yeah, it's just one of those tracks that I've never had a very good moment, like. And I've always been using the same AI. I've always been on 103 to 105 Ultimate AI. So, and yes, I will be upgrading to 105 Ultimate AI. Don't worry, I will be, as long as you support this series, and I can post more and more F1 2020 videos. Because it really depends on you. Like, if you support this series a lot, then I'm gonna be continuing uploading it. Otherwise, if this doesn't really get a lot of views and support, then I might turn back into my rallying roots by the time WRC 9 comes out, and probably post a little bit more SRE and more sim racing games. It's just down to you whether I post this or not. But if I really post this, then I have a lot of ideas, like for special liveries, for, like, you know, getting those driver transfers done. I feel like this game has a lot of potential for a series, and I feel like it's probably going to be a phenomenal series if you support it. Like, I plan on changing liveries every single season, and probably have a few special ones on some races as lazy overtakes us there in practice. And we've completed almost every single test. But yeah, there's going to be some amazing special liveries, because if you go back to the history of Lotus, you can see that they've had plenty of liveries, even like a white and red livery back in the day with a little bit of gold. So there's so many liveries that I really want to implicate into this career. But as you can see, that was the end of practice 2. 20th position only. Didn't really do well, but we've actually completed everything, with the qualifying taste being the only one that was just completed.
Good day today. Let's have your take on it. You put in a lot of time on the track today. Was there a reason for this?
Trying to learn the track, because I'm not actually very good at this track, so I just had to get some time in the car, get a little bit comfortable. So yeah.
Do you think this team are performing as well as they could do?
In my opinion, no. I feel like losing from us in the constructors is not a good thing for them to see, because we have a much slower car, so they need to improve.
Great. Well, that's everything.
Can't really just say something about Haas. They haven't been really doing well, and I feel like this should be doing even better. 895 resource points at the moment, so that's quite decent, but I feel like it's not going to be enough for any upgrades. Is it going to be though? We'll have to wait and see. I hope that the chassis upgrade, this huge chassis upgrade, is not going to fail. But what I'm planning to upgrade is probably this front wing flap there. Again, a flap, 30% failure chance, so it's probably not going to be failing, and it's going to be arriving as well fairly soon after the Canadian Grand Prix. So yeah, improving aerodynamics. The chassis is going to be massively improved after this upgrade, and the aerodynamics after making this upgrade, we're probably going to be making the huge upgrade. And after that, we need to get back into the power unit and start those minor upgrades again. But after making those upgrades, it was time for qualifying, and it was time for Q1, as you can see right here on a set of soft tires. This was my first effort in Q1. Max Verstappen setting the fastest lap on a 139.3, and across the finish line I've set a 141.0, which was 9/10 slower than Giovinazzi's time, and I knew at that point that this was not a very good lap, and we had to improve massively had we wanted to be through the Q2. It was in this race that I was actually considering before qualifying to change my engine parts, like put some new ones, because I felt like there was no reason to... There was no chance we would go through the Q2, but as you can see, a slight improvements there through the penultimate corner, and it's going to be a 3.5 improvement, just ahead of a lazy and Latifi. Still, I'm not very happy with my time. I put in a fresh set of softs and try to set a better lap, and as you can see already on half of the lap, where actually before even sector 2, 5/10 almost up on my time through this right hand. You gotta cut as much as you can through there, and through the castle section, probably my favorite section of this track, very close indeed and very narrow, and you can gain a lot of time. Very good line through there. It's actually gonna improve our personal time now by 6/10 as we're going into the final sector. Let's see what this time is gonna do for us, as we're even behind Russell, which is not very good. Trying to go over the curb there, and the axle delta is now up to 8/10 through this final corner, trying to get a good exit. We actually lost a little bit of time there, around 50 thousandths of a second, but I feel like if we get a good run through there to the finish line, stick to the inside again, as many thousandths as you can through there. It's the fastest way to the finish line, and it's probably going to be around 782 tenths there across the finish line. I feel like it's going to be 16th position if I'm correct. It is going to be 16th position, so just about going through to Q2. Of course, that is not really doing anything for us. It's just proving that once again we can be faster than both the Haas and the Williams, which is actually our pace. I feel like our qualifying pace is there. Sometimes we're going to be beating one of the Alfa Romeos or both the Alfa Romeos. It depends on the track, to be honest with you. But all in all, if we really think about it, there's so many clouds at the moment, and we need to massively improve our time. It hasn't been a very good time, but in general, we are slower than the McLarens, the Renaults, and the Racing Points, and sometimes slower than one AlphaTauri or one Alfa Romeo in qualifying. In the race, though, in terms of raw race pace, we're still slower than the Renaults, the McLarens, and the Racing Points. But most of the times, due to strategy, weather, and a few very aggressive overtakes, we tend to finish ahead of the midfield team. So that's really based on my speed, as you can see. And now we're going to be setting a fairly decent lap at 140.7. But it was still, as you can see, 1 second slower than Esteban Ocon's time. So that was very, very bad to see. But that was the end of qualifying for me. As you can see, we were miles behind. Even Pierre Gasly in the AlphaTauri was 6/10 slower than him. So you can understand the pace was not there. The car didn't feel right on this track, and it wasn't really the car that was the problem. It was also me not being very good at this track. It was a combination of the track showing its weaknesses around this circuit, if I'm being honest. Like a 6/10 gap from Pierre Gasly is not ideal in any case, considering we're much faster than Pierre Gasly in the previous races. But 16th position for this race. I'm not going to be changing any of the power unit components, so we're just going to be going to the race from 16th position. At least we went through the Q2, you know, that's something. So wish me luck for the race, guys, because we've got a lot of hard work to do.
A warm welcome to all of you watching at home to today's Azerbaijan Grand Prix, and a race that in its short history has already proven no stranger to drama. A fourth row start is just about as likely to give you a podium as a pole position would. And remember, in 2017 and 2018, both Lance Stroll and then Sergio Perez took surprise podiums here. The Baku City Circuit measures roughly 6 kilometers and is made up of 20 corners and 2 DRS zones. The circuit winds around the narrow city, through the old town, and even brushes against the city's medieval walls. However, as beautiful as the setting is, this track is also a ferocious technical challenge, where the smallest of mistakes could lead to catastrophic consequences for all of our drivers. And what would any Grand Prix weekend be without the one and only Anthony Davidson, alongside me as always, to talk you through the action?
Well, Crofty, it's the very familiar sight of Sebastian Vettel on pole today, but can he capitalise on it? He might need to show a touch more aggression than we've seen recently to hold on to his lead through the first few corners. And let's see who's able to keep their tyres in that temperature sweet spot early on. You've got a great tyre warmer underneath your right foot, and the drivers need to make the most of that on the formation lap, lest they see themselves skating wide at turn 1 on cold rubber.
Now that we've got some points on the board, let's continue this form and aim for another top 10 finish.
Oh, top 10 finish, Jeff, is going to be quite tough around Azerbaijan, if I'm being honest with you. It's probably going to be one of our toughest races so far, because it hasn't really started, the weekend hasn't started well, and going to be starting obviously on a set of mediums, go to a set of hards. There's not going to be rain in this race, so there's no way we can gain anything from the weather part. I don't know if we can gain time from the strategy part, but you know, everything is possible. There's still the top 10 is all starting on a set of soft, so you know, this is a fact. It always happens, so you never know what's gonna happen. You never know what's gonna happen. Starting from 16th, ahead of us, an Alpha Tauri and an Alfa Romeo. I wasn't expecting that. Both the Alfa Romeos are ahead of us, of Kimi Räikkönen and Antonio Giovinazzi, looking very strong for this race. But it's 3 red lights, 4 red lights, and now it's 5 red lights. The Ferrari 1-2, and away we go for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. It's actually a fairly decent start by me. Gasly didn't get off to the best possible start. I can see actually Grosjean going for the dive up the inside there, and I'm gonna actually follow him as much as I can there. And we're actually going to be gaining a few positions now. We're side by side with Lance Stroll, probably going up the inside, even of Romain Grosjean, who actually gained a lot of position out of this. And now overtake button is on, and trying now to stay ahead of Romain Grosjean into turn number 3. Let's see. He's still on the outside. I'm going to dive up the inside. I'm going to be completing the move up into 13th position we are now. And remember, we're starting the race from 16th, so that's a very, very good start. Gained 3 positions on lap number 1, and ahead of us, both the Renaults, 1 McLaren, 1 Racing Point, and also both the Alfa Romeos. And Raikkonen is actually 11th. Ahead of him is his teammate, Antonio Giovinazzi, up into 9th. And now we're closing down the gap from Esteban Ocon on the weak Renault engine. We have the upgraded Renault engine, so we're much faster on the straight lines being done. Esteban Ocon into turn number 1 as we've entered lap number 2. We're going to be completing the move on Esteban Ocon, and he doesn't really have any answer now. He's also on a set of hard tires, so he's going to be slower than us because of the tire choice. But still, as you can see, Esteban Ocon is still behind me. He's actually going to be trying to go for a dive there on a very unfamiliar corner. For this corner is not very well known for moves, if you ask me. So he actually tried to overtake me there, as Kimi Räikkönen is actually a soft runner, so he probably went through to Q3. So I don't really understand why Räikkönen, he probably had a very bad start. But as you can see, Räikkönen and the rest of the field has opened up the gap from me. It's up to 3.7 seconds, and at the same time, Esteban Ocon is going to be re-overtaking me on that set of hards. Unfortunately, we don't seem to have the pace to keep up with Esteban Ocon, as we're going to be trying to re-overtake him on the next lap, on lap number 4. We seem to have a very good straight line speed, but we're not going to be able to overtake him, probably with a better exit into the second straight. I'm not really sure, but yeah, it just doesn't look very good, if you ask me. Now into this back straight, probably could we overtake him? not so sure. We're closing in, but the pace is not good. It's actually quite weird. On a set of mediums, we can't seem to overtake a car which is on a set of hard. So can't really do anything about that, but to push as much as we can and try not to even lose a position to Grosjean. That would be a bit of a mess after my interviews based on the House F1 team. Ocon doesn't seem to have grip at the same time. Like every single time we're exiting a corner, he doesn't seem to have the grip to stay ahead of me, but somehow he re-overtaken me, and now I'm wasting a little bit of my time. As Raikkonen, I think, has made a move up ahead on Daniel Ricciardo. He's up into the top 10 as Ocon takes the inside line, trying to go defensive. Look at him now, losing the back end, and I feel like we made contact also with the back of Esteban Ocon. He doesn't seem to have any sort of grip on that set of hard tires, and at the same time going on board there with Lewis Hamilton on the top right corner. He's going to lose the back end there as he went for a move on Valtteri Bottas. That's safety car, and I've seen that bug also on other videos of YouTubers. What the actual heck happened there to Lewis Hamilton? That was crazy. He actually tried to go for a move with a DRS open, and he moved way too, he weaved way too much with the DRS open. That actually caused the accident, caused him to lose completely the control of the car. What the actual heck happened there? That was a crazy accident there for Lewis Hamilton, who's going to get yet another DNF, and that is actually working out wonders for Ferrari, who is still on the 1-2. If Ferrari gets a 1-2 with Hamilton retiring from the Azerbaijan Grand Prix, that is helping both Sebastian Vettel in the driver's standings and Charles Leclerc, obviously, but it really helps them out on the constructor standings. As for us, it's actually working very well for us, because some soft runners have pitted, and I actually needed very much that safety car to reduce the tire wear on the tires, and we're actually up into 7th with everything that happened with Vettel, you know, pitting, and Leclerc pitting. So Vettel is actually the favorite to win this race, with Leclerc being under double stack. He's dropped down even behind a Red Bull and a Mercedes as I go side by side with Daniel Ricciardo, trying to take the advantage there on the restart of the race. And I feel like we're going to be back to normal speed about now. Oh, he's slowing down again, and we're going side by side with Daniel Ricciardo now, past the finish line, so we are able to go for a move probably around the outside of Daniel Ricciardo. Can we complete this move? Yes, we can, and he's still on the inside. Is he going to try and go for a dive there? Up the inside he goes again. We're still probably going to get the better exit down. Daniel Ricciardo, overtake pattern is on, and we're going to be trying to complete this move on Daniel Ricciardo. Yes, we are up into P6, and now ahead of us is both the Alfa Romeo. So Daniel Ricciardo tries to go once again up the inside there. Later on the brakes by me, and still maintaining this position. Esteban Ocon now is going to be overtaking Daniel Ricciardo. Esteban Ocon, who hasn't pitted, if I'm correct there. He's still on that same old set of hard tires, so it's working out very well there for Esteban Ocon, who is now under attack from Sebastian Vettel, if I'm correct. Alfa Romeos are in, Sainz and the Racing Point is in, and Verstappen has also pitted in. And now we're going to be leading the Grand Prix on lap number 8. Not the first time we've been leading a Grand Prix. We've led Grand Prix quite often there, both in Monte Carlo and Azerbaijan. I feel like, you know, we're not fighting for victories, but we're actually getting some, on our stats, we're getting some laps on the lead in our statistics as a driver. Vettel has overtaken Ocon, who seems to be losing a lot of pace on that set of hard tires, and now Sebastian Vettel could well and truly attack us anytime soon in that very fast Ferrari. He's also on the first set of mediums, as Vettel is going to be trying to go around the outside through the second corner, and he's not going to be able, obviously, to hold it around the outside through this corner. And I'm going to be defending as much as I can from Vettel for the time being. I feel like I've got nothing to lose. I'm still fast, and I'm not really losing a lot of time fighting it out with Vettel for the lead. And now he's probably going to have a much better chance to overtake me. And he's probably going to be going up the inside into turn number 1. Can we defend from Vettel yet again? Slight lock up on the front left, and we're still going to be staying ahead of Sebastian Vettel. This is actually progressing into a very nice fight with the German driver. I feel like I'm slowing him down way too much, as I feel like Valtteri Bottas is also getting slowed down there by an AlphaTauri in a racing point. But now on lap number 12, as my pit stop pit window is actually open, we actually go just a little bit more wide, and Vettel's going to have a much better run, much more traction, and into turn number 2 he's going to be getting the better run. Probably I could still go around the outside, and we're going to be going side by side with Sebastian Vettel. This is my final lap, so I need to push as much as I can in order to not lose any time from the cars behind, like Stroll and Ocon. By the end of the day, Vettel completed the move. There was no reason fighting him anymore. We're on completely different races, and now, as you can see there, Grosjean, who was actually having a very good race, has got an issue with his car. He's probably going to be retiring, and I guess we're going to be having a safety car if he leaves the car there. It's almost on the track. Are we going to have safety car? Probably not. We're probably not going to be getting safety car there because he's not inside the track, but in reality we would have got a safety car because it's very close to the track. But either way, lap number 12, jumping into the pit stops, actually lap number 13 now as we cross the finish line, and we're going to be going in for a set of hards. We're actually the only ones to go into the pit stops now, with Ocon and Stroll actually overtaking me at the moment. And I feel like Albon and the Ferrari of Charles Leclerc has also pitted, which is very weird to see. Whoa, 1.9 pit stop there by the team. That's crazy. And we're actually going to be exiting even behind Ricciardo, ahead of Raikkonen, which is kind of weird because Raikkonen was having a very good race. Both he and his teammate were having a very good race, and they were both in the points. So Ricciardo all of a sudden ahead of Raikkonen, probably a double stack for Raikkonen and Giovinazzi, I'm gonna guess. So very bad strategy from Alfa Romeo, as Magnussen and Norris have both bid in, and we're now ahead of them, and we're back into the top 10 position. So all of a sudden, as you can see, we're fighting for the points, as Valtteri Bottas is now stuck behind Kimi Raikkonen, fighting for 11th position. I don't know how Bottas is actually so down the grid. For some weird reason, he's not actually fighting for the victory like Vettel and Leclerc are doing. As we're going to be overtaking now our teammate Giuliano Alesi around the outside, and I think a Renault of Esteban Ocon has also been in, and he's now got a lot of hard work to do, Ocon, because he's going to be behind me, my teammate Bottas, and also Kimi Raikkonen, as we're up into 8th position. Bottas is probably going to be overtaking us by the time he gets through my teammate, but I can see up ahead 2 AlphaTauris, 1 Red Bull, and Ricciardo and Giovinazzi fighting it out for P6. Giovinazzi actually lost the position there. Ricciardo seems to have a very good pace, and at the same time Sebastian Vettel is actually down in 7th. So I don't know what happened to the leaders there. Vettel goes for a very aggressive dive up the inside there. I'm not going to fight him out. I don't want to damage my car or really wear out my tires, because we're going to be going till the end of the race on that set of tires, so I need to actually not wear them anymore in order to have fresh tires to fight with Esteban Ocon. At the same time, Bottas is now going to be going around my side. I feel like Ocon is also behind me there. He's getting slipstreaming from both of us, and he's probably going to be going up the inside. At the same time, Giovinazzi is into the pit stops, and both the cars are going to overtake me into turn number 1. Ocon locks up and tries also to complete a move there on Valtteri Bottas. There's no way we can actually re-overtake Ocon. Probably into this second back straight now. DRS is open both for me and Ocon. We actually have a better straight line speed, and we're probably going to be going around the outside of Esteban Ocon. He dives up the inside, side by side with Esteban Ocon. Now in terms of the inside into this right-hander, we probably have the upper hand in this fight, and we're going to be completing the move, as at the same time Charles Leclerc has closed down the gap. So I don't know what happened with the front leaders of Vettel, Bottas and Leclerc. I don't know why they dropped so down below. So I have no idea what happened to the races and the strategies. I'm trying to weave there, break the slipstream from Esteban Ocon. Enough weaving now. He's going to be choosing the inside line. I'm going to be trying to push him as much as I can. Leclerc goes around the outside at the same time. He's trying to complete. I'm once again getting double overtaken. The power unit doesn't help me a lot at this point. With 8 laps to go, we just lost the position to Ocon and Leclerc, and that's probably going to be it for me. So I lose the back end slightly there. Now behind me is Alexander Albon and Carlos Sainz, and we're down to 9th, which is not very good, not very ideal. At the same time now, Lance Stroll in a set of soft tires. Is he going till the end of the race? Probably yes. Lance Stroll is going to be trying to get me around the outside. We need to activate the overtake button. We're actually faster there before the DRS with Lance Stroll. Wheel to wheel contact there, side by side, as Ricciardo jumps into the pit stops. We're fighting there with Lance Stroll up the inside of Lance Stroll. This is a fight for position with only 6 laps to go, and Alexander Albon is going to be trying to take advantage of me pushing Lance Stroll off the circuit there, and Alexander Albon is probably going to be completing the move on Lance Stroll. Ocon having a phenomenal race up into 4th position, and I'm also having a very good race for the time being, up into 5th with only 5 laps to go. This could actually end up with a very good finish there in Azerbaijan. Probably our first ever good race around here, but on the same time, lap number 22, Lance Stroll has yet another chance to overtake me, as at the back you can see the Red Bulls fighting it out. Alexander Albon and Max Verstappen overtaking Albon at the same time. Lance Stroll is going to be overtaking me. Can I actually try and do something crazy up the inside? I'm not going to be. I'm actually quite hesitant there. Stroll is much faster than me on a set of soft tyres, so I can't really do anything about it. With 3 laps to go, we're going to be losing out 5th position, and Stroll, there was no way to catch up to him again. He was actually much faster than me on that set of soft tyres. I don't know how he walked out the strategy like that. But Antonio Giovinazzi is out of the race. A mechanical failure for Antonio Giovinazzi, who was going to be getting some... Because actually both him and his teammate were having a phenomenal race. At the same time, Verstappen tries to go up the inside. I can't really say anything about Antonio at the moment. Verstappen tried to overtake us. We're still on the inside line now around this right-hander. He goes very aggressively there. We made contact there. Verstappen is very eager to complete that move. He's trying to get that 6th position bar. The Alfa Romeo for Antonio Giovinazzi is out of the race, and he was actually inside the top 10 for most of this race, same as his teammate, but somehow both the Alfa Romeos at the end of the day are out of the top 10. And as you can see there, probably Max Verstappen had some damage in his front wing and lost the position to Carlos Sainz, and the only battle I could have had there was with Alexander Albon, but he was not really capable to overtake me. Now the Honda engine, I feel like, is not going to give us any troubles in the start-finish straight as we're on to the final lap. We're probably going to be coming across the line to take 6th position here in Azerbaijan, and it's actually a phenomenal race if you take into consideration that we actually gained 10th position in this race. Another points finish, and yet again we're not top of the midfield. You know, Lance Stroll has overtaken us and Esteban Ocon, but still driver of the day, 6th position from 16th on the grid. Great race.
Well, what a drive that was to take the win for Ferrari today. Tell me, Ant, how do you think they were able to deliver such an incredible result today?
Well, the safety car completely changed the race, didn't it? It's hard to say exactly what would have happened without it, but there's no question that they came out of that situation in a good position.
And here we are, a team that is no stranger to the podium, taking their place on top once again. A sublime race today and a stunning win for Ferrari.
It's not a 1-2 for Ferrari, but they're still beating badly Mercedes in the constructors after so many good results. And Sebastian Vettel getting a victory here, which is he needed very much in order to, you know, get back into the driver championship fight. And he's actually doing very well with Hamilton also out of the race. He also set the fastest lap, so he gets 1 extra point from that. So he's doing very well. He's doing very, very well. But let's talk about our race for a little bit there. From 16th position up into 6th. Once again, you know, both all the 3 of us, Lance Stroll, Esteban Ocon and me, have taken advantage of the one-stop strategy, whereas you can see Albon, Sainz, Verstappen, Perez, Norris and Raikkonen, and probably same applies to Giovinazzi, who unfortunately retired. They all went for the 2-stop strategy, and that's why we had the upper hand and we gained some free positions without fighting it out. So strategy is really working out for us in this season so far, and that's why mainly the reason we got yet another 6th position and some very good fighting as well. My teammate had a very good race, 16th position for him.
Great work out there.
So yeah,
let's have your thoughts. You really cut your way through the field today. What was your strategy?
my strategy was my strategy, if that makes sense, but yeah, the one-stop strategy really paid off in my opinion. Let's just improve the morale of the power unit.
Would you say we all underestimated you?
For sure. I feel like we even underestimated ourselves, because I never thought we would get so many points in this season and these first 8 races.
Do you think you were lucky not to end your race with that crash?
What crash? I feel like we made some will-to-will contact there with Stroll and Verstappen and Vettel, but it was not too serious in my opinion.
Great. Well, that's everything.
We've actually entered the weekend with low hopes. The qualifying was bad, and as you can see here, Raikkonen had a better pace. The Alfa Romeos were much faster than us in this race. Same applies to the McLarens, to the Red Bulls. You know, we were not a fast car around this circuit, but we still got a very good result. You know, Giuliano can still top that performance in Bahrain, where he ended up 13th, if I'm correct. So he had a phenomenal race in Bahrain, where I had my worst result there. He got his best result, where I got my worst result. So he's yet to top that result. And as I've already told you on the previous episode, we're going to be upgrading these things. We're going to be buying perks for media coaching, which is going to give us additional interview answers level 1. We're going to be upgrading the power mapping, which it reduces by 10% the engine wear. We're going to be improving the social media team and the development feedback, which is going to be giving us a resource point income boosted by 10%, and the driver claim is also going to be boosted by 10%. So these actually things have these perks have 3 levels, so the next levels are unlocked by the time we're going to be reaching driver claim 8, level driver claim 8. So actually very good to see this, and yeah, I haven't showed you that in a while, and I thought like upgrading this since we have plenty of money at the point at that time. So still top of the midfield in the driver standings, and getting closer, I feel like, to the Renaults and the McLarens. Look at this, 8 points from Renault and 9 points away from McLaren, the constructor standings, but still 10 points ahead of Dan Ricciardo driver standings, and still the top midfield driver, which is quite crazy, thinking that we still have the second, or let's just say third to second slowest car in the grid. Very good race also for Alesi, finishing 16th position in this race. So let's hope he can keep up with this pace, and there's not going to be any need to change him probably midway through the season. I'm probably going to be changing him by the end of season 1 if we make it. Until then, if you support this series and you make me go on and do season 2, you know, it really depends on you. But yeah, that was it for today, guys. If you enjoyed, smash the like button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you want to see more F1 content. Share this video with any of your friends that are looking for a new series on F1 2020, where we return a brand new team like Lotus. You know, if anyone is a Lotus fan and you know that, make sure you share this video with those friends of yours. And yeah, until next video, guys, which is probably going to be SLRE again, or WRC8, the finale. I'm going to be catching you later. Goodbye.